You weren't born to be good. You were born to be whole. But somewhere along the way, someone told you to shrink. Don't be angry. Don't be wild. Don't want too much. Don't speak like that. Don't dream like that. Don't be like that. And you obeyed. Because it was easier. Because it was safer. Because every time you tried to show the world who you really were, it punished you. And so now, here you are, polished, productive, respected, and hollow. You can feel it, can't you? That quiet ache under the noise. That burning sense that the life you're living isn't actually yours. That behind your ambition is a ghost. Carl Jung didn't offer comfort. He offered confrontation. He said, if you want to find your true self, you have to descend, not rise. You have to crawl down into the parts of yourself that make your voice shake. The impulses you've buried, the rage you pretend you don't feel, the twisted fantasies, the secret pride, the raw, dangerous you that's been chained in your basement while your persona plays king upstairs. And if you don't do that, you'll stay here, achieving, yes, performing, yes, but always a step behind your own soul, always haunted by the feeling that something vital is missing. Not because you're broken, but because you're fragmented. You've mastered the mask, but you've lost the man. Let me ask you something. What if the traits you've been trying to hide, the aggression, the competitiveness, the arrogance, the hunger, the chaos, weren't your flaws? What if they were the fuel? Jung didn't believe in perfection. He believed in integration. He believed the path to power wasn't found in light, but in shadow. You don't become whole by being nice. You become whole by owning everything you are, even the parts the world fears. Especially those parts. Look at your life. Really look. How many times have you silenced your truth just to be accepted? How many times have you betrayed your instinct just to avoid conflict? How many times have you softened your edge because someone else couldn't handle your sharpness? And now you wonder why you feel powerless. You weren't meant to be tame. You were meant to be dangerous and disciplined. But danger requires awareness, control, depth. You don't get that by meditating away your instincts. You get that by going into the fire and pulling out the weapon buried in the ashes. Let me show you. The first truth Jung would whisper to you, the one most people run from, is this: you are not just one person, you are a kingdom of selves. Some noble, some savage, some cunning, some wounded, some divine. And right now, most of them are at war. That's the tension you feel. That inner friction, the restlessness, the strange emptiness that follows even your greatest wins. It's the war between who you are and who you've been told to be. Until you bring your shadow into the light, until you claim the parts of you you've disowned, they will control you in secret. They will bleed into your relationships, twist your emotions, manipulate your decisions, and pull you toward chaos without warning. Have you ever felt it? A sudden jealousy that doesn't make sense, an urge to destroy something beautiful, and an attraction to people who hurt you. A self-sabotage loop you can't explain. That's not weakness. That's not randomness. That's your shadow, screaming to be acknowledged. And here's the most vicious truth of all. If you don't control your shadow, someone else will. They'll see your weakness before you do. They'll press the button you didn't know you had. They'll whisper just the right words. And you'll crumble because you never studied your own darkness. This is where the weak get devoured. But you didn't come here to be domesticated. You came here to wake up the part of you that remembers who you were before you became obedient. You came here to become whole. And the only way to do that is to descend into the dark. Eyes open, teeth bared, mind sharp. The second truth is even darker. You are attracted to the very things you've denied in yourself. The people you obsess over, the ones who scare you, arouse you, intimidate you, they are mirrors. They carry pieces of your shadow you've refused to claim. You don't envy them for no reason. You don't feel inferior for no reason. You're looking at your potential, dressed in someone else's skin. It's not that they have something you don't, it's that they own something you abandoned. A part of you is watching, waiting, growing restless. And if you keep living your life with one half of your soul duct taped in the dark, That part will explode when you least expect it. So here's your choice. Keep living on autopilot, achieving, performing, pretending, or crack open the door, and meet the self that's been waiting behind it all along. But be warned, once you see him, you can't unsee. And once he speaks, you'll never be the same. There's a reason you've been afraid to go deeper. Because deep down, you know the version of you that's been buried isn't just stronger. It's uncontrollable. It doesn't care what's socially acceptable. It doesn't play by the rules of comfort or consensus. It doesn't shrink to be understood. It dominates. It devours. It demands the life it was born for. And that's why they taught you to fear it. Because a man or woman who's integrated their shadow can't be manipulated. You've seen them. They walk differently, speak with weight. Their presence is unsettling to people who live behind masks. Not loud, not arrogant, unapologetically aware. That's not confidence. That's wholeness. And once you taste it, you can't go back to begging for scraps of validation. But there's a trap. A dangerous, subtle trap that catches even the most ambitious minds. The trap of performance over integration. You grind, you read, you build. You sharpen your skills, your body, your status. You do everything right, and yet still feel empty, fragile, reactive. Why? Because you're improving the mask, not unifying the self. It's not how many books you read. It's what part of you is reading them. Are you sharpening your mind out of power or fear? Are you chasing success to build or to hide? Are you pushing forward or running away? This is the brutal clarity Jung forces upon you. Your motives are everything. The ego wants more. The persona wants to look good. The wounded inner child wants to be loved. But the self, the true self, doesn't want validation. It wants alignment. And that only happens when all parts of you sit at the same table. You want to lead? Then lead your own psyche first. You want to dominate? Then master the battlefield of your inner world, where every decision, every reaction, every obsession begins. Look around you. How many so-called successful people have no idea who they are? They dominate industries but crumble in relationships. They give keynotes but drink themselves to sleep. They build empires and still feel like frauds because they've built everything on exile. They've locked their wounds in the basement, polished their persona, and now they're ruled by the very parts they tried to forget. And when those parts finally break free, they destroy everything. That's what Jung meant when he said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. It's not fate. It's you, avoiding yourself. The answer isn't another goal, another book, another hit of dopamine. The answer is descent. Not into weakness, not into passivity, into your own underworld. The shadow isn't just your shame and trauma. It's your drive, your hunger, your primal fire, the source of your intuition, your authenticity, your command presence. You've been cutting off the very fuel that makes you magnetic. You think strength is in discipline, and it is. But discipline without integration is a cage. The strongest man is the one who has seen his darkness and chosen to lead it, not flee from it. So how do you do that? You watch your triggers like messages. You trace your compulsions back to their source. You study your envy, your resistance, your shadows in other people. You stop flinching when the mirror gets ugly. Because that ugliness, that's your map. You think your anxiety is weakness? It's your The moment you decide to face your darkness, everything changes. Because the darkness is not your enemy. It's your gateway. The ego, the mask, the polished you. They're all designed to keep you small, safe, contained. But the self, your true self, lives in the wild place beyond that safety. Beyond fear, beyond control, beyond the narratives you've told yourself to survive. When you step into that wildness, you stop being a victim of your own mind. You become the strategist of your inner empire. Imagine a battlefield, but inside your skull. Every thought, every impulse, every hidden corner of your psyche is a territory waiting to be claimed or lost. You can't conquer the world if you don't conquer yourself first. Jung's deepest secret. Mastery comes not from domination of others, but from mastery over the war raging within you. There is a moment when you realize the true enemy isn't outside, it's the divided self inside, the fractured pieces warring for attention, power, control. That's where your real fight begins. It's brutal. It's relentless. You face the parts of yourself that want to tear everything down. Your anger, your fear, your greed, your darkest desires. But here's the catch. You don't destroy them. You make them your generals. You harness their force instead of resisting it. This is the alchemy Jung spoke of, the transformation of lead into gold, shadow into light. Because when you integrate your darkness, your weaknesses become your weapons. Your chaos becomes your compass. Your pain becomes your power, and, suddenly, the life that felt fragmented, hollow, fake, becomes wholly yours. No more masks. No more fear of exposure. You are the storm and the calm after it. Picture a leader who doesn't flinch when chaos hits, a warrior who doesn't break when the world pushes back, a sovereign who knows their strengths, flaws, and desires, and commands all of them with ruthless clarity. That is the true self, and it's not just about surviving, it's about dominating your own destiny. You become the hunter, not the prey, the player, not the pawn, the architect, not the hostage. You've seen the darkness. You've heard its whisper, and now you speak back. You don't beg for permission to exist fully. You take it. This transformation isn't comfortable. It's not polite, it's violent, it's sacred. Because when you own your true self, the world has no choice but to respect you. Doors open that were always closed. People who doubted you fall away like dead leaves. Your presence becomes a force field, magnetic, unshakable, inevitable. But here's the truth few dare to admit. This path is lonely, because the true self doesn't fit in the old cages. It demands a new life, new people, new rules. You lose the safety of the familiar, but gain something far more precious, your freedom. Freedom from the chains of approval. Freedom from the paralysis of fear. Freedom from the lies you've told yourself to stay small. You are no longer a shadow of a man or a woman living half a life. You are the full force of your existence. Every fear faced, every wound claimed, every truth spoken, no matter how raw, how dark, how beautiful. This is what Jung meant by finding your true self. Not becoming someone else, but becoming all of who you are. And with that comes a power so profound, so absolute, you stop reacting to the world, you shape it. You no longer wait for life to happen to you, you make it happen. Because you know the terrain of your own mind better than anyone. You've been to hell and back inside yourself. And now you hold the map. You are no longer the prey. You are the strategist, the king in the shadows, the ruler of your internal empire. This is the final transformation Jung offers, from fragmented to whole, from lost to sovereign, from prey to predator. You're not chasing some mythical perfect self. You're reclaiming the power you've always had, buried under layers of fear and shame. This is your life's great victory. Not the trophies on your shelf, not the applause of the crowd, but the quiet, relentless mastery of yourself. And with that mastery comes a freedom so intoxicating, so primal, you will never want to return to who you were before. You're no longer running from the darkness. You are the darkness and the light, all at once, unapologetically, powerfully, unstoppably. If this resonates with something raw inside you, something fierce, then get ready, because the final part is coming. And it's not just about mastering yourself. It's about stepping into a life that matches that mastery. A life that demands the full force of who you are. The question is, are you ready to walk through that door? Or will you stay behind, a shadow of your own potential? You've made it here. Most never do. Most get scared the second the mask begins to crack. They turn back the moment their wounds whisper the truth. They can't face the abyss, because they've built their identity on avoiding it. But you didn't turn back. You walked into the fire. You let it burn. And now, on the other side of that pain, you begin to see it. The man or the woman you were always meant to become. Not a better version, not a polished upgrade, but the real you. The one who's been hidden beneath layers of survival, performance, perfection. You're starting to remember. Not in your head, in your bones. In the stillness behind the noise. In the roar behind the silence. The true self doesn't beg to be seen. It watches. It waits. And when you're ready, it rises. And now, here you are at the threshold. Carl Jung never promised peace. He promised wholeness. And wholeness is a dangerous thing. Because when you're whole, the world can't control you anymore. You're no longer addicted to being liked, and no longer desperate to prove yourself, and no longer hiding from your own reflection. You can stand in a room, speak the truth, even if your voice shakes, and feel the floor anchor beneath your feet. You're not chasing your purpose. You're embodying it. You're not asking for clarity. You are the clarity. You move like someone who knows exactly what they're doing, even when they don't. Because you trust yourself. Not the ego, not the mask. The self, the deeper, unshakable center. The world senses it, and it can't help but respond. Because true alignment is magnetic. People will ask what changed. They'll feel your presence before you even speak. Not louder, heavier, rooted, real. But here's the secret. This is not the end. This isn't a destination you reach, a flag you plant. This is the beginning. The day you stop being a prisoner in your own mind and start becoming the architect of your existence. You will still fall. You will still doubt. But the difference is this: you will know who's falling, and you'll choose who gets back up. No more unconscious patterns. No more reacting like a puppet to past pain. You are no longer bound to your history. You are writing something new. You are the myth being born, the legend forming in real time. Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." And most people die without ever claiming that privilege. Too scared, too numb, too trained to perform. But not you. You didn't come this far to stay the same. You came to take back the crown, and now you wear it. Not made of gold, made of scars, made of trials, made of truth. So now I ask you, what will